Good morning, church. Bob Myers here. Blessed today to be able to spend a few moments with you as we look at Hebrews 11, the great faith chapter, the Hall of Faith. And this chapter starts out with a definition of faith. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. And it starts out with the word now faith. You know, when Lazarus passed and Jesus went to Mary and Martha, Martha came out to meet him, and she said, Lord, if you'd been here 4 days ago, my brother would have been fine. You could have healed him and he'd been fine. She had some 4-day-ago faith. And Jesus said, do you believe that your brother will live again? Oh, yeah, in the resurrection, the last day. Yes, absolutely. So then she transferred, she had some last-day faith. Jesus was looking for some now faith. Does someone today, right now, believe that I am the resurrection, the truth, and the life? And that's what he's looking for, now faith. So faith is always a current matter. It's not something that's past history. We use past history to build our faith, knowing what God has done in the past, but it's a current issue. You don't build it up and, store it in the back room to pull it out later. It's current. Now faith. You actually activate your faith in the moment against whatever the issue is, in faith in God. And then the writer begins to explain about faith and explain some of the examples of faith. And then in verse 6, he says, very foundational doctrinal statement, but without faith, it is impossible to please him, God, for he that cometh to God must believe that God is, and that he, God, is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. So without faith, we can't please God, because God wants us to walk in faith. We walk by faith, not by sight. And then following that, he also begins to delineate the history of Israel again. Noah, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Sarah. He goes through the great faith steps that the children of Israel have gone through. Moses coming out of the bondage of Egypt into the promised land, how Moses led them. It speaks of the faith going through across the River Jordan and the Jericho, across the Red Sea when they came out. And then he kind of shifts gears in verse 35, talks about others were tortured, not accepting deliverance. Others had trial of cruel mockings and scourging. Moreover, bondsmen, they were stoned, they were sawn asunder, were tempted, were slain with a sword. And so this is kind of the B side of faith. We have the A side. Moses did this, Abraham did this, great things. And then we have this other side. These people, well, they had faith, but it didn't work out for them. No, 1,000 times no. We as humans tend to think that way, don't we? Well, if I just had more faith, Aunt Matilda would have been healed. I just know she would have been. If we'd had more faith, President Trump would have gotten reelected. You can't have faith in an outcome. Your faith has to rest in God and in Jesus. That must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. He gets to decide what the reward of our faith is. What if Paul would have said, man, if I just had more faith, I could have been out there preaching the gospel and stood in this prison writing these crummy letters trying to get the word out, trying to do the best I can. No, God had him in prison for a reason. Apollos was a great orator, but how many words of Apollos have blessed your heart in the last year? Not many, because you don't know them. But the words of Paul, written down in the gospel, they've been a blessing to us, haven't they? God has eternal purpose. So our faith needs to rest in God and let him decide the outcome. Be blessed today as you read and study Hebrews 11.